Hey guys, Kenzie here. It is June 4th. It's a new month. It's a new day. It's a new beginning. And it's the month that everyone should hit rank, right? Like if doTERRA could do one more thing to help us out this month, I guess it'd be BOGOs, but word is that's probably happening next month. So prepare yourself accordingly. Um, I want to invite everyone to take some time to really think about how they can be a little bit more strategic about the $200 PV order. You know, in previous months when doTERRA has done a 200 PV order, they have allowed a makeup order. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just remember that as you're working with your people and they're placing their orders, if they're under 200, don't forget that at the end of the month, doTERRA may or may not do that. So don't write them off as far as people who don't necessarily need those oils. We had a big announcement yesterday with the pedal diffuser coming out, 12 hours all night long. That's exciting. And did you see the price point? $47, you guys. That's incredible. I'm going to buy several. The pedal diffuser is my favorite diffuser. I have 3 or 4 of them in my house because it's honestly the diffuser that lasts me the longest. So I'm excited to test this one out and see how it goes. And it's also an affordable incentive to help people along, you know, if you want to use that for a doTERRA diffuser. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is Justin Harrison is doing a webinar tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. So jump on that. He is talking about those 3 oils that you get for free in the incentive for 200. So watch it and then create your own version of it. So take good notes, decide what he says, and then you go live and say what you say. What else is going on? If you are a diamond and above, the diamond call is tomorrow. If you are a silver or above, the leadership call is the 10th. So make sure you're letting your leaders know about that so that you get to the right place. If you need links for either of those, please let me know and I can send them to you, or your diamond leader can find them for you in the announcements on the diamond page. Okay, without further ado, we have Jackie tonight, and I've asked Jackie to speak to us about when she decided to stop being scared to build her business and really go for it. So Jackie, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for jumping on. I was very honored when Kenzie asked me to talk and present tonight. I'm going to give a little bit of my background and just kind of how I got started with doTERRA, how long I've been with them, and really, I guess when, I don't even know if it was like a pivotal moment, but definitely something that pushed me forward. I've been doing doTERRA for about 4.5 years, and I was always the one that was doing it sometimes. I was never really doing it part-time. I always had like a full-time job. I was having kids. I always got easily distracted from doTERRA. It's easy to do that when you're not really, even if you love it with all your heart, it's still easy to get kind of, pulled away. Other things just kind of come up and you kind of put it on the back burner. And I did that for a long time. And I really felt it in my business. I would be all gung-ho and get people excited, and then I would kind of fall off and they would fall off. And so I felt like I rebuilt my business several times. November of 17, I had an accounting job and I was laid off of my job, and I had kind of a inkling for about 6 months it was going to happen. So I told my husband, I said, all right, during those 6 months, I literally didn't work at my job. I did doTERRA. I took calls with doTERRA. I made meetings. I did everything I could, knowing I was going to do doTERRA full time. And so when that time came, of course, it was heartbreaking and it was hard because it's hard to, kind of have that letdown of somebody's letting you go, but it pushed me to do it full time, and it was terrifying. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Like, I had 4 little kids at home. My husband's salary was not enough to support us, but it was that or go back to a desk job where I was absolutely miserable and had no future. I was never going to go anywhere. I had hit a ceiling in my job. If I didn't, basically work more hours, which I wasn't willing to work more than 40 hours a week, my family's too important. My life was too important. And I hated sitting behind a desk. So the day I got laid off, I came home. We had just redone our kitchen. So that was good timing. And I started making calls and I started messaging people, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And as of Monday, that was a Friday. On Monday, I had appointments and I just went for it. And I'm not going to tell you it's been easy because it hasn't, but it's definitely that pushed me to do it. I was always telling myself, like, I'll do it when we have enough money. I'll do it when the time's right. I'll do it when this. I'll do it when that. When we have a new house, like when we're comfortable, then I'll do doTERRA full time. But it happened at the perfect time because I needed it. And so it's been an interesting journey for sure. The month I got laid off in October, so end of October, so November of that month, I hit silver for the first time. I got my 250 bonus for the Power 3 for the first time. So it was just all things kind of happened. And then December was qualification for Diamond Club. And I told my husband, I'm going to do this program. And he's like, no, like that sounds horrible. And I said, too bad. I just needed that momentum. Like I thrive on competition, not against other people, but just for myself. I like to know I have a deadline for things. It works really well with me. So I qualified for Diamond Club in December, and I did it in spring of 2018, and solidified silver. So that was awesome. And it just kind of put momentum in my business. And then in November, we all love November BOGOs, right? So I hit gold in November, and I was like, I'm doing Diamond Club again. So I just finished my second round of Diamond Club. And I'm going to tell you, I was a new silver when I started. I had not many people out of my area. So that's one of the qualifications you have to have is people out of your area doing LRPs. They did an exception for me because I didn't have a lot. I finished 36th out of over 300 people the first time. And this time I finished, it says 16th right now, but I think I'm hoping 15th or higher, out of over 360 people. So I don't have a huge team. So anybody that's listening to this thinking I can't do it, I don't have a big team, I don't have people out of the area, you can do Diamond Club. It's awesome. You don't have to win it, but if you're a competitive person, it kind of help push you a little bit. And my team doubled in size in 1 year from doing Diamond Club and just doing this full time. And I added, I want to say 86 people to my team in the past 4 months doing Diamond Club. So it's huge momentum. So I think the thing that really has helped me and I'm not saying I'm never scared. I mean, I have my moments of self-doubt. I have that little devil on my shoulder that's telling me like, I'm not good enough, that I can't do it, that no one, that I'm never going to find those builders and all that kind of stuff. But when I do something like Diamond Club and I have my leaders step up and really help me, it's huge. Like, I'm like, wow, these people are awesome. I think I had 3 new leaders emerge out of this Diamond Club, like that are doing the business. And one girl just enrolled 7 people at the last day of the month out of town. And I was like, well, that was cool. I mean, I don't have a lot of people that are really in this with me. I've been doing this myself for so long. So it's been an incredible experience. Diamond Club, I would say was huge for me. I'm actually, hopefully my husband isn't listening, but I'm thinking about doing it in the fall, but we'll see. He's going to say absolutely no. So it's tough on the family, but it's amazing. Other things that I've done really, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? Like either you sink or you swim. And that's pretty much what I said. When I decided to just go for doTERRA and not go back to the 9-to-5, which is hard because that's what I'm used to. And I grew up, you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, you work till you're 65 and then you retire, right? Like that's what you're supposed to do. So doTERRA is the complete opposite end of that. It's an amazing opportunity, but a lot of people have a hard time seeing it. So people look at me like I'm nuts. My dad is constantly like, are you okay? Can you pay your bills? Are you sure you're okay? I'm like, we're good, Dad. I'm fine. I got this. So, you got to have faith. You have to have faith in what you do. And no matter where that faith comes from, everyone has their own, their own idea of what faith is, but you have to have faith in yourself that you're going to do it, and you have to do it. I mean, you have to put the time in. Diamond Club ended Friday. I haven't done much work in the past 4 days, and I feel really guilty. I know I shouldn't, but I need to get back at it. Like, I'm not just going to sit around this summer and do nothing, because a lot of people, that's the mentality, right? Like, it's summer, let's just sit around and hang out. And I have my kids home with me, but I'm doing the things. I'm making the calls. I'm watching, different, I guess I love Dana Moore, so I watch her Tipster Tuesday. I'm following different people on Facebook, just trying to get ideas on how to continue going this summer, how to keep that momentum up, because I've got great momentum in my business right now, and I got to keep that up for summer. Another thing that's really drives me is the incentive trip. I went last year to Mexico, and it was awesome. And Latarin and I had a blast. Among many other people, made a lot of great friends. And this year it's in Hawaii, so I'm going. I announced that at leadership. I said I'm going on the incentive trip, so I got to work my butt off now. And for the next, we got 3 months left to get myself and my husband there and paid for. So like I said, I thrive on competition. And I compete with myself. So there's not, the jealousy, although that tends to creep in, right? When you like compare yourself to others and someone's doing better than you, like I'm excited for everybody, but I think a lot, it's kind of natural sometimes to be like, man, she's doing better than me, but I'm happy for them. And I try not to look at that. And I look at myself and what I can do and maybe take their ideas or what they're doing and put that into my own business and use those kind of things. So one thing that's really, really helped me to get over any kind of self-doubt or fear that I have is self-development. That is something that I know we talk about in this business, but you really have to do it. And I can find myself when I'm, yeah, Amanda, you will see me in Hawaii. We did Diamond Club together. We just finished. So we've kind of been crazy for the past 4 months. But self-development, when I don't do personal development or self-development, I feel it. I feel like I can't do this. Can I really build this business? I have a lot of self-doubt. And so I get back into that. I don't make time for reading. I'm not gonna say I don't have time because I hate when people say I don't have time, but I just don't make the time for reading. I've got 4 kids between the ages of 11 and 2. My husband works full-time outside the home. And so I'm busy and I want to do other things. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one person I really love is Rachel Hollis. I know a lot of us got to see her at leadership. I feel like you either love her or you don't. I absolutely love her. And I've taken a lot of good tidbits from what she, just from her and listening to her books and things that she said. And another really great podcast I listen to, you guys should write this down because he's amazing. His name is Ed Mylett. It's Mylett. He's incredible. He is just this like self-development guru, and he puts you, definitely. Yeah. Ed Mylett's amazing. He just tells you like it is. Like he'll tell you basically the difference between happiness and fulfillment. That's probably one of my most favorite podcasts is, happiness is having things, fulfillment is doing things and being a better person and what that means to you. And it's really, he says some things sometimes like, oh, you put me in my place. Like maybe I'm not doing what I should be doing. But for me, it's really awesome and it helps a lot. So Ed Mylett's really great. And then by listening to him, he has guest speakers on all the time. So then I follow their podcast too. But I think he's kind of my go-to. So I'm an audio person. So if you are, definitely look up Ed Mylett. I listen to Rachel Hollis. Other things that I've done that my upline has helped to kind of implement and talk about is a gratitude journal. So you can go day to day to day and just do the things, but you got to know why you're doing those things. We talk about our why a lot in doTERRA. Like why? Why are we doing doTERRA? And your why is going to change it can change day to day, month to month, year to year. My why has definitely changed. My original why was I wanted to have time freedom and I wanted to spend time with my kids. So I get that now. I'm home with them all summer. It's amazing. I've been able to keep my little one home with me for the past 2 weeks because she hasn't been feeling 100%. So I've been able to nurse her and help her get back, like not literally nurse her, but like nurse her back to health. I mean, everybody has their thing, but she's 2.5. She talks in 10-word sentences. We're good. But I have my vision board. We're going to go on a family trip to Florida, and we're going to take all the kids on an airplane in 2 weeks, which 2 of them have never been on an airplane. So a beach and airplane are 2 things on my vision board. So knocking that stuff out, seeing us actually be able to complete those things is huge. And that gratitude journal really can help. I'm actually doing it with my 7-year-old. She saw it and she's like, I want to do this with you, Mom. And I thought that was really neat. So we sit down. Hers are, they're 7-year-old style. But she does it one day and then I'll do it the same day. And it's a fun way to kind of look back and be like, that's what she's grateful for. This is what I'm grateful for. And sometimes when you're feeling it, like you're in a slump, and doTERRA has seasons for sure. Like I feel it. I think coming off a Diamond Club, the season for me is like, I want my business to keep doing what it's doing, but I want to kind of take a month break. You can't do that though. So looking back and being like, okay, I'm grateful that I have the drive to do my business. I'm grateful that I have people to support me. All those kind of things really help putting them down in writing. And when you write stuff down, you make it happen. It's like you're putting it out there for the universe. So there's somebody else that kind of a cross-line relationship I have that she's really awesome at that. Putting, writing stuff down, like the type of house you want or the type of person you want to be or the type of business you want. Put it down and put it out there, and then you'll make it happen. And I think that's really cool too. So if you're, if you're scared for whatever reason, I will tell you, it's not just doTERRA. You can fail at anything. Like, that's just life. You can have a job and you can get laid off. You can get fired. I did nothing wrong. Like, the company's actually going under. So I was lucky that I got let go when I did. So I wasn't just out of a job. And I had a little bit of time, but anything can happen. So go with what you have now, push yourself, find people, whether it's your upline, crossline, whoever in doTERRA that you can go to and be like, I'm having these feelings. Can you, validate this for me, or help me with this, or help me work through this, or let's find new ideas so I can feel creative, or whatever it is. You need people to work with. I actually saw something today. If you guys follow the, I think it's called the How to Reach the 96%, Jody Hoffman, she's really awesome. I think she's hilarious too. So I love watching her lives, and she posted something on there about finding a cross-line person. Just find that person. So it's hard. Sometimes a lot of people have like a mental block when it's your upline, and I wouldn't say I'm gold, so I wouldn't go to my downline with any of that stuff. I would definitely go up. I go up or to the side. Obviously my downline comes to me, and that's great, but I don't, unless it's like my cousin or somebody, my mom or whatever. But other than that, go to my cross line and be like, all right, let's, they don't benefit from what I do. I don't benefit from what they do. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. Let's do things together. Cross-line relationships are really, really important. So find that person. It doesn't have to be within doTERRA, but having someone within doTERRA, maybe somebody outside doTERRA, whether it's your spouse or your mom or your best friend, that can help and support you when you're having those feelings of, I can't do this, I'm not successful, whatever it is. It's hard. I mean, you can enroll a ton of people in a month and not one gets on LRP, and you're like, oh, well, I mean, that was fun, but you've got to keep, that business going. You've got to keep it flowing. And to sustain a business not an LRP, you're going to have to enroll 20 people a month, which is really hard. If anyone's doing Burke and Natalie's 100 enrollment envy challenge, 20 enrollments a month, I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it. 20 enrollments a month it's awesome, but it's hard. It's hard to sustain. And, but if you can do that, do it, rock it. Find new ways to do your business. Right now, I'm actually, you guys all probably know Jennifer Yates. I love her. I met her in Mexico. And I love watching her stuff. She's amazing online presence. She builds her business exclusively on Facebook, which I think is incredible. And so I'm going to start kind of taking some tips and tricks from her and start doing a little more online building, because it is kind of hard to do everything face-to-face and meet with people all the time. I do thrive on that. I love supporting people. I love meeting their individual needs. But, to really get my business to where I want it to be, I feel like I need to explore other avenues. So just being creative and keeping the lines open, I think, is really important too. So I think I pretty much, I don't know, is there anything else that I didn't cover, or anything that I was a little confused?
I love it. I think this is great. If you wouldn't mind, if people are a little more interactive and can ask you questions.
Yeah.
So you're a gold. How long did it take you to get to gold?
From when I started, or from when I started doing the business?
Isn't that funny? Like, you're building the business, not thinking you're building the business, and then
right.
You're building the business.
Right. Well, I started and I had my first class and enrolled 7 people, but then after that, I not stopped, but I kind of was like, whatever. Okay. And I didn't support my people. So, I did the business off and on for probably 2 years, until I went to my first convention. And, thank you, Romy and LaTaryn and Iris and everybody for getting this. I met them all at the Truman Team convention, actually. And that was my first doTERRA official event. Kind of a crazy story. Boyd Truman called me personally and said, I want you to come to this. And I was like, okay, I got a call from Boyd Truman. Like, this is really like celebrity status, right? And then I went to convention, and from there I just did the business, and I did it as much as I could. So 4.5 years from start to finish to get to gold. No. A little over 3.5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that about right? I don't know. But from when I started it full time, it was a year. From silver to gold was 1 year.
When you enroll people, is it usually at a class, or do you do a lot of one-on-ones?
Both. I love one-on-ones. I love them for different reasons. I love one-on-ones because I love being able to cater to people directly and really get down, personal and to the root of what they're looking for. But it's really hard to have, 30 one-on-ones in a month. So I like classes to just kind of but I like the idea of a class though. Like I like personally, I like groups of friends together or people that know each other. I have not had a lot of good success with a class with a bunch of people that don't know each other. I don't think people feel as comfortable talking about stuff. So when you have people that know each other, a class is really fun.
Okay. Are you one to do a basic class, or are you a DIYer?
I'm a basic class. I am very much essential oils one-on-one, but I really want to move out of that. So during Diamond Club, I offered a free roller bottle to everybody that came to any of my classes. Mm-hmm. So they got to I used Jody Hoffman's roller labels and stuff. I think they're awesome. They're exciting and they're different. And so everybody got to make their own roller. So that was a fun thing I did. And I think I'm going to try to continue to do that just because I think it's a good way to just appreciate the people that are coming. Like, hey, and to sample them so they go home with something. Yeah. So I think that's really important too.
When you are at the end of your class, when you're ready to talk about kits, what kits you talk about?
So I've kind of switched it up a couple different times. I just recently watched this video that I really like the closing of it. I always talk about, so I started with Home Essentials. So that's what I always highlight that kit. I kind of downplay Family Essentials a little bit just because it doesn't have a diffuser. So it's not my favorite kit. So typically I talk about Home Essentials and then definitely Natural Solutions. So I always say that the Natural Solutions is my favorite, hands, because it is. I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I would have started with Natural Solutions just because it has everything. So I'd say those two kits, and then the Aroma Touch Diffused if people are looking for a lower price point and I want them to have that diffuser. And I think that's an amazing, well, right now, the Healthy Habits kit, hands down, that's the kit that I'm like, everyone needs this. This is the kit you need. Yeah.
Love
Hopefully they keep that. So if anybody on this call has a lot of pull with doTERRA, like really make sure that stays an enrollment kit because it's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
What questions do you guys have? Anybody on here have some building questions you want to unmute and ask? You are more than welcome.
Hello, Jackie. It's Iris.
Hi, Iris.
You are amazing to watch grow your business. I really appreciate everything you're doing. And I have been, since January, having a Facebook Live Monday through Friday, most of the time. There are some times I don't. But right now, I've only got about 50 to 100 people that are listening, and no one is talking back much. No one is enrolling.
Right.
Wondering if you have any input into that.
Honestly, I wish I did. I don't. Do you watch Jennifer Yates at all?
Oh, all the time. She gave me her lists of how to do things.
That's awesome. So she's amazing. So I've been trying to duplicate her as best I can. I personally feel like keep doing what you're doing because you're building that online presence. So having 50 to 100 people watch you is amazing. I mean, that's a lot of people. I've gotten different feedback. So she's always on for 30 minutes is about kind of her average. And I can totally talk for 30 minutes on Facebook. I can do it. I was doing it in my personal, like my VIP group, and people were telling me it was too long. They're like, I don't have time for that. So I'm trying to kind of figure out, but I feel like I don't know. I'm kind of trying to feel it out and do that as well. I need to be more consistent on Facebook Lives, but I think that keep doing what you're doing because people like consistency. And I have found that, I don't post a ton on my personal page about doTERRA. I do because it's my life, but I don't overwhelm people with it. I post a lot about my kids, try to incorporate how I use them in my life versus just like throwing out specials. But I found that I've been doing this for so long and I'm consistent and people have been watching. People, they Facebook stalk. They silently watch and they don't say anything. But the more they'll be like, oh, she's still talking about oils. She's still doing this. And then they tend to come around. And I get random messages like, hey, so I've been needing to get the oils and I see that you obviously know what you're talking about. Can we get together? So stuff like that where it's like, where did you come from? But, you're being consistent and people are so used to seeing people jump from company to company to company. So if you're sticking with one thing, then they're going to be like, oh, she's still using those. So I would say just keep going live, maybe offer some kind of a giveaway,
I do that too.
Do? Okay. Yeah. And I mean, I've done that before when somebody won and they don't even get back to me about picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, or even meeting with them. It's like, hey, let's meet. And like I'm giving you an intro kit, but okay, whatever. And then they don't meet. So, but I, just keep doing it because it will eventually, I feel like it'll pay off. It will pay off. And that's funny because that's something I've been thinking about too. I'm like, I need to go live more often. And how do you get engagement? So
yeah,
if you figure it out,
I'm keeping it to about 20 minutes. And that has been good for me because I'm not logged to the computer and or to the phone. And also, I think it's good to just kind of touch them.
Yeah.
So
do you bring your personal life into it too, or are you just talking about oils?
I do because I'm like you. My personal life is oils.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome. It was good to see you.
That was great. And does anybody else have a question for Miss Jackie while we have her?
Look, I can't be quiet for a whole entire call, so I'm going to jump in here quick.
Bye.
Jackie, first, I remember a couple of years ago at convention when you kind of knew that might be coming with your job and you were trying to figure out what to do. And it's really cool to see everything you've done and accomplished since then. And it's interesting how you kind of got pushed out of the boat a little bit, that you had to go do that and you had to make some choices there. And I think something you said earlier just about I forget how you said it, but kind of the lies that we believe, like the lies that we believe about how like my corporate job is safe, my corporate job is the only way to do this. My desk job is what I was created for. Go to school, get that job, sit behind that desk. And you've obviously pushed through that lie and you've found a way to do this. It's really working for you. And so I think that's really encouraging. And I think that's a good reminder that as we do this, people aren't always going to get it. There's going to be some friction when people see they still buy into that idea. They still buy into the only safe thing is that desk job. And you doing what you're doing is going to challenge that for them. So I'm just really excited to see everything you've accomplished over the last couple of years, and you've done a really, really good job with that.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to walk gold with you guys at convention.
Yeah, absolutely. Buddy. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Does anybody else have a question? A desire to speak up? It doesn't even have to be, it could be anything, you guys. Anything building related. I guarantee that Jackie's heard it or can help us. One thing that I want to point out is I asked Jackie a question about how she does something, and she responded as a gold, someone who's very successful, as I recently just watched this video. I'm incorporating these new techniques. Like, she's in this realm of learning, constantly building her skill set and figuring new ways to do things. Rarely do you find a really solid, good leader who says, oh yeah, one and done, right? Like, I know even Jennifer, when she did her call, how many times should she tell us she tweaked things and working with the algorithm and knowing what's best and when to go live. And what to put as our topics. And I mean, everything's constantly changing in this business, even though we're doing the exact same thing.
I mean, I've been teaching classes for, let's say, upwards of 3 years, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way that I like to do it. So
Yeah.
I always talk about certain things, but like my closing is one thing I've always struggled with. I've never liked feeling salesy, ever. Like I actually did real estate for a little while right out of college, and I hated it because I didn't want to feel salesy. I didn't want to pitch my friends. And I think that's why I love doTERRA, because I don't feel salesy. I love what I do, and I have something everybody needs, but like, I'm not going to chase after you. Now, I used to, in the beginning of my business, I chased and I did everything wrong. But I've learned, and I mean, yes, do we want everybody? Of course we want everybody, but I don't want to work with people that don't want to work with me. I don't want to have to chase them. I follow up with people that enroll and try to do a membership overview. If they don't want to do it after a couple times of following up, I stop, because they know where to find me. And I don't have time to be going after them constantly to be like, we need to do this. We need to do this. And if they don't care, it's like, I want them to use their oils. I've actually told people, if you're not going to use the oils, don't buy them. Because I don't, I mean, true, like, I don't want someone spending $300 on a kit that's going to sit there and collect dust. One, I want those oils, like, we're running low on a product. I hope it's not sitting, not getting used, and two, I don't know. I don't want to sell to somebody that's just buying to be buying. I want to sell to somebody that's going to use them and that has a desire to learn, even if they're not using them. They don't know any idea what to do with them. I had a friend recently enroll, and she's been talking about oils for years, and she enrolled at the end of Diamond Club. And I told her, you have to promise me that you will get together with me so I can teach you how to use these. She got the Healthy Habits kit. So I'm like, you have to promise me. She goes, I promise we'll get together. I'm like, okay, because I'm not just going to let you support me. And she was supporting me. She was helping me. But I'm not just going to let you buy these and then not do anything with them. It's just not okay. So I'm big on helping people get to where they want to be. This isn't just about, like, I joke and I'm like, this isn't about selling a bag or selling a burner or selling, Tupperware. Like, this is a lifestyle. This is literally my life. Everything oils. My doctor doesn't always love that, but I do everything with oils, and that's just, everything natural. That's just kind of what I do. So by finding doTERRA and doing doTERRA, I've also, and I love how you said that we're constantly learning and we're constantly trying to better ourselves. And I do that within doTERRA, and I do that out with that, like on the outside of doTERRA. So finding doTERRA, I found a whole life of natural wellness. Probably one of my favorite stories to tell people is that I actually come from a family of medical professionals. So my dad was a doctor. He just recently retired, like major old school Western medicine doctor. My mom's a nurse. My sister's EMT, firefighter. All my aunts are nurses. So I am like, I grew up on cough medicine with codeine and antibiotics. Like, literally, that was normal. We always had, it's just what you do, right? We have a cold, Jim, call in something for Jackie. She needs her cough medicine. So that's all I knew. And so when I found doTERRA, I found this whole natural realm. Like, oh, I don't have to do that with my kids. I don't want to do that with my kids. And so that has it's not just about oils with me. It's about natural wellness in general, eating right, doing other things that are natural as well. And I just had a girl recently today contact me about something I've never heard about with just food in the body and how to use it. So I'm constantly trying to incorporate those things into my doTERRA business too, because people that are using doTERRA want a more natural way on every end of their life, every spectrum in their life, not just oils, but natural products, eating, living better. I mean, we have the pyramid, right? Like, that's what it's all about. So having all those pieces together and knowing what you're talking about is huge. So you can always learn, always.
Love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for being willing to be here and share your story with us. I think it's so inspiring. If you wouldn't mind, I ask you a builder question.
Yeah.
So now, as a goal, you have these upcoming leaders.
Right.
How do you help people? Because you even said in your story, well, what do you mean when I started the business? Like when I didn't know I was doing it or before? And you probably have some people on your team that don't know they're building the business, but they are. How do you help make that connection for people as they transition to, I want to do this? Or how do you help them see that this is an option for them when the time's right?
I think, well, I'm going to be real here because we hear a lot of things in doTERRA about what rank we are and all that stuff, right? And it is, I am a gold. Like, I earned it. I am definitely a gold. But I will tell you that up until recently, I really had nobody working with me. Like, I've done this all on my own. So I wish, okay, I'm going to take that back. I've done this all on my own. I've had amazing upline. I've had people underneath me, but nobody that's stuck with it. I've got people that, hit Premier because I helped them hit Premier so I can hit Silver. So that's, not that I'm taking anything away from my rank, but I feel like, when people think like something I learned when I went on the Diamond Club sourcing trip last year, I met people and everybody's, what rank are you? And I met one girl and she goes, I'm Diamond, but I've been, I think she said consistently hitting Premier since then. And I was like, oh, and it just kind of like this light bulb went off. Like, I think I need to know the truth because I don't want to feel like a failure. Like, you hit a rank and then maybe you drop back down a rank or 2 ranks. That's okay. I mean, I'm still a gold. I'm a solid silver all the time, like without trying by the middle of the month. But that gold level's hard to maintain because you need people doing this with you. So the people that help me hit gold really honestly aren't even doing anything anymore. They've pretty much, they help me with my power 3, but they don't help me rank at all. So I've got new builders coming up. So that's where I just have people that I feel like that are meant to work with me, that meet me and say, after a month or so of using their oils, like, hey, I've got people asking about oils. I want to do this as a business. What do I need to do? And then I work with them. So I used to just really chase after the people that I thought were supposed to be my leaders and that I thought were supposed to help me rank up and to work with me in this business, but they're not there. And I'm hoping they come back around. Like, I'm hoping that some of our family members, so I'm hoping that that they find it. But like I said before, I want to work with people who want to work with me. So when I meet someone that wants to do this business, I sit down with them and I just tell them what it's all about. I tell them, this is what I do. But I also make sure that they know that they can do this any way they want. They don't have to meet with people. They don't have to, obviously I feel like in my business, having classes and meeting face-to-face is really important. That's what helps me do my business best. But there are people like Jen Yates that build solely online. So you got to find your niche, right? You got to find what works best for you. So I've got, I think, like 3 girls right now. And I'm going to give you guys some hope. One's an orphan that was just placed on my team. And I contacted her and she said, hey, I want to do the business. And she's having a class in a couple weeks, next week, actually. So like people come out of nowhere. And I feel like when you are open to it and working the business and doing everything you need to do for you, things just fall into place. So I might have got off a little bit on a tangent there with your question, but I feel, when I'm working with somebody, how do I help them get to the next step? I just mentor them and I tell them what I'm doing. I give them all the tools, the things that I'm using, and then they kind of tweak it from there. I teach some classes for them until they're comfortable. I just launched a new leader in Chicago over Diamond Club, and I taught, I think, 3 classes for her. And she joked and said, I think it's best for my business if I just pay to fly you out every time I have a class. And I was like, no, that's not going to work out so well. Like, I love you, and message me and ask me any questions, but like, you got to do this. And she did. She had a class, I think, end of the month and did great. She has a class Thursday. So I give them all the tools that they need and then just kind of like let them go and be like, do it. Call me with questions.
Yeah, I love that. And I think what you said was really what we needed to hear, because a lot of times I think as an elite or, you're going, right? You have 30, 40, 50, 100 people on your team and you're thinking, well, out of 100, like 20 of them should be a leader, right? But the reality is, as a gold, even platinum, even diamond, I mean, sometimes you may have 1, 2, 3, 4 working people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep enrolling. Like, you can wait and sit on your 20 people and one of them might become a leader. They just might. They might roll with it. But really, right, you got to keep putting fish in your bucket, because if you want to build, you have to find a builder. It's a lot more fun to do this business when you have someone else who's saying, yeah, let's build this business.
It's pretty exhausting doing it by yourself, to be honest. And I will, from my experience, you can get yourself to silver. I pretty much got myself to gold, with me doing the constant enrolling, me supporting the people. But at this point, I can't sustain gold by myself. I need people. So, my goal is platinum by convention, and just being realistic, it's not going to happen. I don't have the structure for it. Short of giving people that don't deserve my enrollments, I'm not going to do that because I'm looking long-term, not short-term. But, I want to work with those people. I want to do events with those people. I want to, plan with those people and not just, make it fun, because it's tiring. I mean, like I said, like you said, you can enroll 20 people, but it gets exhausting after a while. It's a lot more fun when you look in your back office and there's 10 new enrollments and they're not yours. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, what happened? Like, who did what? Like, let me send somebody a prize.
Right. And I'll tell you what, you guys, like, that just started happening for me recently. Like, no joke. The past couple months, I feel like, where I'm like, well, that was neat. Look at all these enrollments and all my people. This person has 10. This person has 8. Like, and a lot of the classes were Diamond Club and stuff like that, but still, they're out there and they got a fire under them and they're wanting to do it. So and another thing too, and I am bad at this, I'm just going to be 100% honest, but putting the business out there. If you don't approach people with the business, they're not going to think about the business. They're not even going to know it exists. I wish I could remember the leader that taught this. It was like she basically did a class for people, for other leaders. But basically what she said is like, hey, if I told you I have vanilla ice cream in the kitchen, go get a bowl of vanilla ice cream, like you're going to go get that bowl of vanilla ice cream. But then I walk in and I'm like, why didn't you grab the Rocky Road or the mint chocolate chip? And they're like, well, you didn't tell us it was there. She's like, oh, I thought you would have looked in the freezer. But like, put that in terms of doTERRA, right? Like if you're telling people, like, just be a customer, buy this kit, use your oils, but you're not telling them that they can share, you're not telling them that they can do the business, then they're not going to think about it. I mean, some people will. There are some people that like get that fire and like, this is cool. And most people are not going to. So yeah. I've been trying to be a lot better about ending my classes with that, somewhat trying to work that in. I'm trying. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm trying.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I mean, I have in my circle, I don't know anyone who wouldn't feel like their life was significantly changed with an extra $500 a month.
Right.
That's a big deal. $500 a month pays for a lot of fun things when you don't have that $500.
Right. It does. But a lot of people don't think it's real.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things I straight up tell my people, that anyone that wants to build with me or is approaching me and says, tell me like what's going on. One, I'm 100% honest with what I make. Like I'll straight up tell anybody what my paycheck is. I don't care, because it's not about that. I don't want them to think I'm like, making a ton. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy, but like, my husband can't retire yet. Like we're not there yet. But I also tell him, I'm like, this is not a get rich quick at all. You got to work at it. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard work. It's for real work. This isn't like some people get lucky, but to sustain this business, you really have to work at it.
Yeah. And I think there is a little bit misconception about that, right? Like, oh, I started my own business, so like life got really easy for me. But really, you're trading in a 40-hour work week, sometimes for an 80. Like by the time you answer the first morning messages all the way to the end of the night and doing the classes and sending the emails and doing the follow-up, I think we have to be real about that. Absolutely. But it's worth it. Like a short period of your life, and it's worth it.
Absolutely. Hey, I can come right back. My daughter is coughing and I got to go check on her real quick.
You're good. I'm going to stop the recording, guys.